Then we got Aro, Dibon, Jazar, Nimrod, Hashmon, Eliah, Shabam, Nebo, and Beon. And then so much. Then we got the country which the Lord defeated before the congregation of Israel is a land for livestock, and your servants have livestock. You see it for, you got to see it. The country, see what it says, the country which the Lord defeated. See this? Before the congregation of Israel. You got to see this. What are you talking about? Because you don't hear about the Lord destroying this land. Am I wrong? Have you heard this? So then God has already did what? Start clearing some land out anyway. God is already producing stuff anyway, already ahead of time. So they're going to, when they come in, remember, when they come in, he's already gotten rid of some of these Hittites, or what's called, I'll say tites. He's got rid of some of these tites already. Somebody say Hittites, then I'd be messing up, because I don't know if they were Hittites, Jebusites, or what. But it says that God had defeated them before that congregation got there. Whoever was there, a Gentile nation that was there, God already wiped that out. We on page so far? So then watch this. Then he says in 5, then he says in 5,
Therefore they said, if we have found favor in your sight, let this man be given to your servant as a possession. Do not take us over the Jordan.
Where's your Jordan? Look at your Jordan on your map. You see it on your map? Look on the biggest one, there's a big one that you under the water, blue. Look on that one. And you see the Jordan. So you see how close they are? So they haven't went over to the Jordan yet. So they already started to see something, right? Right? Before we go any farther, what I want you to see is this. And I give Jamal credit because he was right. Because they did what? They did what? 1 John 2:15. The lust of the eye. It's what they saw. They saw how beautiful it was. Right? They saw how beautiful it was. Now, where was God going to take them?
The promised land.
That's what I wanted you to say. I don't want you to say Canaan. I wanted you to say to the promised land. That's important. Because God was going to take them to the promised land. How can you say something is so beautiful and you haven't been to the other side?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is where we are. This is how we live. What we see, we think, well, it's okay. You know, I'm financially able. I'm in a nice house. I'm in a nice apartment. You know, I'm good. What is good when you haven't went to heaven? But see what I'm saying? But what we do is, and you don't realize it, we actually invest in where we are. We make major investments. Oh, I got to get this. Oh, I got to do that. I got to have this. What are you doing? You're building. You didn't cross over the Jordan. You didn't even get to cross over to see before you make a decision. All you saw was with your eyes. Go to Genesis 13. Go to Genesis 13. I want you to see something. Genesis 13, I think it's 10. I want you to see something. You find it?
Yeah.
I don't care. Genesis 13:10 says what?
And Lot lifted his eyes and saw all the plain of Jordan.
So watch this. So before then, what? Go up. I just want you to see something. I guess not. Go ahead.
Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right. Or if you go to the right, then I will go to the left.
Keep
And
going.
Lot lifted his
Then
eyes.
Lot did what?
Lifted his eyes.
What do you mean? He didn't open, or he looked. Lot looked and said, yes, that looks great over there. Watch this. Abraham, you told me if you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If I go to the right, you go to the left. You became selfish. You looked. I'd have put that on Abraham's head. No, you are God's man. God has taken us. Whatever you choose, I'll take the other. But what he saw was the beauty. So then watch us go to Genesis 15. I'm sorry, Genesis 14. 14, Genesis 14. Now go to Genesis 14. 12. Genesis 14, verse 12. You got it? Read, Calvin, you got it.
They also took Lot.
And they also what?
Took Lot.
Okay, wait a minute, what's going on? Wait a minute, he was in all this beautiful land.
Yeah, but there's somebody that came and got it.
Well, at the beginning, it shows at the beginning what was going on. See what I'm saying? There's a war going on, and so what do? They come in and they do what? They take. So Lot is in Sodom and Gomorrah. So then the beautiful land was where? In Sodom and Gomorrah. You didn't get no history. You didn't pray to God. You didn't ask God for none of the above. What did you do? You saw. So since you saw something so beautiful, you selected. Watch this. Then go to Genesis 19. Genesis 19. And 24. You got it, me?
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew the cities and all the plains and all the inhabitants of the cities. And that which grew upon the ground.
Come on.
But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of stone.
Wait a minute. Your Bible, we're in Numbers 32. Verse 4 said what? And I'm going to come back. So you keep the country which the Lord defeated. So he's already defeated. Come on.
Before the congregation of Israel.
Come on.
There's a land for livestock, and your servant have livestock.
See that? So now, what did they do? They requested what? That land. Remember? Reuben and Gad requested that land. We want to stay here because we have livestock. Who would know that you got livestock? God. But what did you do? It's what you saw. So you saw, he told you the promised land is the land of milk and honey. He told you that land, when you get over there, you can't even fathom how beautiful this land is. I'm pretty sure he knew Reuben and Gad had a lot of livestock. I know he would have given them land where they could take care of their livestock. And I said it's the same way with us. What we see down here, you don't say that, no, I can't wait till I get to heaven. No, we show that this is important to us. We invest in this. This becomes our heaven. We invest in this. When God has told you, I got a better place for you. I got heaven that awaits you. But because we haven't crossed over, to see it, what we see is right here. So then we look at all those beautiful mansions. You know, those athletes are buying $20, $30 million homes. You know, it's just awesome how they have everything set up. They don't have to go nowhere. They got everything laid out, and they have servants. They have everything. It's beautiful. You hear where I'm coming from? To the point that you don't even go to church.
It's that their gods.
You got it. You see what I'm saying?
They don't need nothing else.
I don't need it because I'm there. You don't understand. I want a car, then go get it. That's what you want, go get it. You have the money to go get it. A lot of you all don't know it. A lot of these athletes got their own helicopters. They don't go, I got to go into the Staples Center. Kobe was being helicoptered into the Staples Center. He wasn't driving no car in there. He was coming in on a helicopter, letting him on top of the roof, and then he goes down and goes in. When the game is over, he get back in his helicopter. He never got to worry about no traffic. But you see where I'm coming from? Because you've made this your heaven. They made that their heaven. And they hadn't even crossed over. So watch this. Now your 6th verse says,
Moses said to the children of Gad and the children of Reuben, shall your brother go to war while you sit here?
so Moses is what? Moses has done what? He's said in so many words, Moses is what? He's upset. The nerve of you. You see how selfish this is now? You got the nerves to say, look, why don't we just stay here and let you go ahead, let them go ahead and do what they need to do. Flip your paper, guys. Just flip your paper if you're on 32. Do you have it? Do you all have it? Okay. If you don't, Jim has one. Well, Jim has one if you don't have it. So watch this. Just flip your paper. I got what? However, this fact did not stop these 2 tribes, right? See it? Right on the top. Yeah.
Second page, top.
I'll give him 32.
Yes, you guys want to see me?
Okay, now hold up. Hold up now. We working this over here. We working it out, trust me.
He's going to be all right. I'm fine.
He's just fine.
In the line.
I guess he doesn't have.
Jim, give him one.
I'm
I
getting
am going to get it. Jim is trying to give us one.
Yes, Jim,
In
give
the
him one.
meantime, let me see what obviously he wants to read. However, this fact did not stop these 2 tribes desiring the land as their own.
So what? Go ahead.
It says selfishly
Selfishly. See that? Selfishly.
they saw the land, and it was very fertile and suitable for livestock. Selfishly, they focused their eyes upon the land and converted it. Selfishly, they were willing to compromise in order to secure the land.
See that? See what happens when you use these things to make decisions. When you see something. The other thing is, we say the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life, right? So then, did you know that can also be on a spiritual plane? What do you mean? The lust of the eye. All what they saw, then what they saw. They see green pasture, then what they saw. They saw that it do what? Take care of the cattle. We won't have to do anything, it'll feed. So now you're talking about a heart problem. Remember, emotions? So now you've allowed your emotions to dictate to the point that Reuben and Gad, that tribe, said, what we need to do is go tell Moses, we don't want to cross over, we'll take this land. I just showed you what happened to Lot. Lot looked over and saw how green the grass was. Lord, have mercy.
We didn't see him look to see what was behind him.
You got it. He didn't check. And watch this. We know what Sodom and Gomorrah means, but he didn't check. He didn't research. All he saw was beautiful land. What are you saying? What I'm saying is here, you need to see something here. Watch this. As we go on, I want you to see something, because these two tribes have said, leave us on this side of Jordan. Right? We see the selfishness. Right? But watch this. I want you to open up. I got the key word.
In the first verse is the verb they saw. Seeing in the Bible is definitely not believing. On the contrary, sight is often the exact opposite of faith. Seeing is frequently the prelude to bad decisions because our eyes tend to make superficial judgments. Eve saw that the fruit of the tree of knowledge was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and so she ate the forbidden fruit instead of believing God's word that the fruit was not good.
Keep going.
They stated that it was God who led them.
Stop. Calvert, verse 4.
Country which the Lord defeated before.
Which who? Which who? Do you hear me? The country which the Lord defeated. So I'm saying, we only see, right, and since we see what's in front of us, they saw, well, first of all, here's a land that God has destroyed. So therefore, we can stay here because God has destroyed. What's the main ingredients that's missing? Did you ask God? Did you talk to God?
2 days of sin.
You got it. So often do you see relationships. You go in and it falls apart. You don't understand what happened. Did you talk to God about it before you did it? Was God the central part of your thinking, or was lust the central part of your thinking? Now you got into something and find out it ain't about nothing. It ain't worth the time. Now you can't get out of it because you're in too deep. Lot, you got into something, and now you got folks, you got men knocking on your door wanting to make love with you. You hear me? You didn't look. Did you take it up with God? No, you allowed what you saw. Remember, Abraham, in your mind, God was Abraham's God. Remember that? You know what I'm saying? That's what you don't see out of Lot. But Lot was, when Lot was his nephew, it don't matter. Lot can speak too. I've said too many times to everybody, you think for yourself. And if you can't think for yourself, you need to think for yourself. You really do. You need to start to weigh things out. I watch the trends that take place in our lives. Clothing, hairstyles and stuff. And when next thing you know, boom, they got that look. Boom, got this look. Boom, got that look. I says, when some of these looks are not good for us, but I saw. I want to blend in. You got your hand up?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's just like us today. We don't always seek out provisions. How he's always orchestrated our steps and made a way for us.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, and that's what God had did for them. He had continued to make provisions for them.
Right.
And yet still, you know, that's the one thing we don't see when we don't keep our focus on Him.
You there?
We don't always see His provision.
You there?
You know, but when we keep our and all it takes is a millisecond or less than that. It doesn't take very much to take your eyes off of God. And the sad thing about it is the risk that you run when you take your eyes off of Him, you may never be able to see that again.
You got it.
And that's the sad thing about today in the world that we live in. And this is not to promote, but I got a lesson coming out, and it's relevant to.
I thought you, we'll talk, because I didn't think you would. But we'll
Oh,
talk.
Lord, help us.
Yeah, but
Oh, Lord.
but we'll talk. But still, the bottom line is, in hearing, you're right, because it is. Let me try this. Lord, why don't you send this to me? Ever said that? I call you all the time. I ask you all the time. Why don't I don't understand. Are you there? You know, you won't kill me. Are you there? When, and I'm guilty. When I have to say, I also know that you're not giving this because you see beyond. I see no harm in front of me. You're saying, this will tear you down. This will send you away from me. This may even destroy a relationship. So you asked me to protect you. I am going to do that. You're angry now. Then you'll come back to me and say, I know you know what's best. You hear me? Then you go back into your tantrum again. You hear what I'm saying? Up and down. But the bottom line is, what I want you to see is, by looking at this, it says that the Lord cleansed this. The Lord took care of the land. So then by them looking at it, they're thinking then God has blessed them with the land, right? This just came in. You heard of deception? Let me help you. How do you get to heaven? How can you get to heaven? What did you say? What did you say? It's got to be through who? Ain't both them one way. So what do? You got so many people choosing other ways, but they don't realize you're taking another way. You're not going God's way because you would follow this. Watch this. But I am following this. You don't even read it. Or, let me give you one better than that. You read it, but you don't study it. But you're following God's way. Well, if you're following God's way, you are to study it. Right? Your favorite scripture. You are to study. So then if this is the case, and then you're not following the way. What they should have done was, then their focus is who has been leading them the whole time? God. What was their purpose for going that direction?
Into the promised land.
To get to the promised land. Because He promised you the promised land. You have witnessed so many things that have taken place because you did not obey Him. So why would you get to a place? What do you think? You're around water. The trees are beautiful. The grass is green. Be careful and identify Satan. Be careful and identify Satan. Why? Well, but the Lord cleansed this. Be careful because the Lord didn't change His thinking. He said that they are to go to the promised land. He didn't change His thinking. So why then do you think He changed His thinking? Because you look and see something so beautiful. So you figure this is where I need to pull up and stop and stay. See how selfish you can become? And that's called deception. You don't even realize, but because of something you saw, you said, this is it. Yes.
You know, and it appears in verse 5 that they're trying to flip the script. Because it says, wherefore say they, if we have found grace in your sight.
Come on.
You know, I mean, it's like they in your sight, you know, you're the one looking at it. I mean, we have found grace in your sight.
Come on, keep reading.
Let this land be given to your servants for a possession.
Whose sight?
That's what I'm talking about.
Moses. That's what they're talking to. They're not talking to God.
Yeah.
So they're saying, they go to Moses and we found favor in your sight.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Favor in my sight. I have not been, all I've been doing is leading you. So what are you talking about? I found favor. You found favor in my sight. So it's about pleasing me. This is what I said too with the church. I don't want to do anything to make the pastor upset. Really? I'm a man just like you. Anytime you go against the grace of God, it ain't me that you got to worry about. It's God you got to worry about. Anytime you become disobedient to God, that's what you need to worry about. But a lot of times, what do? When you don't study, when you rather be a follower, then a follower requires a leader.
Yeah.
Think about it. You got it. See that? And so then, let me go to him. No, let me go to him. Because guess what? If he's God's man, then he too will see it, because God will reveal it to him to see what you're talking about, what you're doing is right. That's why I said it was so funny, Rob talking to me today. I didn't know. I thought you might be upset with somebody. I thought somebody may have done something to you when you kept saying you had to let go of a friend. I said, right. I started laughing. I said, yeah, his name was Satan. I said, and here's what we do. Oh, he wasn't my friend. You need to stop lying. Yes, he was your friend. Oh, yes, he was your friend. You did everything he told you to do. You was out there acting a fool. You know God wouldn't want you doing that, so then Satan was your friend. You can't have them both. So you got to let him go. You need to make up your mind. Either you serve God, meaning God becomes your friend, or you serve Satan, who is your friend. So you have to divorce your friend. You have to cut him loose so that you don't use these no more. So that you use this through this, so that you can see better. That's why I said that the information you gave Sunday was good, Jamal. But like I said, here we go with this. This is the thought of what they're seeing. You too busy now going to Moses? If Moses had said no, then what? Go read 6.
Can we finish 5?
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, wherefore it said they have found grace in your sight, Moses. Let this land be given to your servants for a possession. And this gets me, and bring us not over joy.
See that?
So they so caught up in this that they.
You guys see.
They don't even want to go.
I told you, they saw the mansion.
Wow.
The mansion's here. They saw it. You don't even know what's on the other side, Jordan.
Right. But they better, hey, this is good enough for.
You got it. It's what you saw. You said, Lord have mercy. This is awesome. This is, well, I mean, what I say? Well, you know what? This is awesome. It can't be, what, the other side can't be no better than this.
You just keep it right here.
You heard me? That would be the mentality.
And we don't have to go no far.
Come on.
They get caught up in what's right here.
You got
when they see their jobs, their paychecks, their homes, their cars, their
You got it.
vacations, their lifestyle, and they're like, well, I'm good. I don't really need nothing else. So I'm right here, and then they don't understand. They don't even
You got
understand what a relationship is.
You got it.
And you touched on that Sunday when you said we have these religious folks out here. They're like spiritual. I'm spiritual.
Right.
I believe in a higher power.
Right.
I believe in, and they have these universal people. But like you said, they get we caught up in what we see right
That's
here. We can't even see the real
Can't cross over.
land. We can't see the land of milk and honey.
You got it.
Heaven, because
You
we're
got
so satisfied.
Satisfied, that's the word.
Satisfied,
Here.
right here,
That's
and
it.
like we're never gonna leave.
That's it. Yes, they
Brothers, you know, they know the guy had already turned them around several times.
Right.
Let me get, hey, let's park it right here, man, before he turns us back around.
Stay right here until he made us go all the way back.
Hey, so the horse is coming, you know, what?
And after all, your 4 is the key here.
Right.
God had already removed those that were on that land. So that's got to be God giving us this. When God ain't told you, God ain't never told you before you cross over Jordan, this is where I need you to stop.
He was wiping them out so they can get through without.
Yes! See, you see that. We see that. This is what's going on with a lot of us. Things become better. Yes, because it's a much better place than this. Some of you need to see, oh, I see the beauty of this. Yes. Now, can you fathom heaven? If you think this is beautiful, now can't you fathom heaven? Heaven has got to be, and it's beyond this. Heaven has got to be awesome. But what do? I think I said up there right here. This good enough. This all right. I said house all right. I ain't got to worry about my cattle, but I ain't got to go out and feed them. Lord, look at all this green grass. Everything is perfect. Watch this. Verse 7 says what? Your verse 6, keep it. Your verse 7 says, what were you at 5?
Yes.
Keep your verse 5. Because your verse 5 said what? How'd you go? Your verse 5?
Said that if we have found grace in your sight.
Keep that. If we have found grace in your sight. Keep that. Now 7 says what, Calvert? 7 says what?
Now why will you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord has given?
Wow.
Wait a minute, who is that speaking? Moses.
Moses.
But wait a minute, you just said, but now that we found
Grace.
in your sight.
Right. Moses said.
Moses, you didn't find it in my sight.
Why are you discouraged?
You see what I'm saying? Well, you didn't I hate to tell you this, but you did not find grace in my sight. You didn't find it. That's what he's saying. Since you come to me and you want to, so what were you expecting? You were expecting us to say, yeah, you're right. The 2 of you all can stay here. The 10 of us go over. It even be more land. As if God couldn't give the 12 of you all the land. As if that land that God is going to promise you can't be no better than where you are. See how that's our mentality, but you know now, don't beat them up. That's our mentality. We do the same thing. That's our mentality. We get relaxed. We're okay. God told us to go. We say, well, shoot, I'm in the church. I'm saved, so I'm all right. He told us to go and make disciples. But shoot, I'm comfortable. This is good, right? I'm all right. Don't get me wrong. If somebody walk up to me, I'll give them a card. But other than that, I'm just going to kick it. I told you, we've got to be careful with deception. You don't even realize it. That's the work of Satan, wanting you to feel comfortable. You don't need to do anything. Aren't you saved? Okay. Then you don't need to do anything. You're saved. Stop and think about it. Here's the comfort. Moses said, you don't need to be comforted. Now Moses is, watch this. Now watch this. Then he says what? Back to 7 again. He says what?
Now why will you discourage the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord has given?
What did you catch it? What you gave it to you?
The Lord.
The Lord has given you. So where's that? What made you stop? Can't you see the selfishness? What made you so blind? Now does Lot make sense? I'll take this land over here. Boy, you taking that land over there and them folks is going to kill you. You taking that land over there, and what are those folks going to do? You are walking into a Gentile, you're in a Gentile nation. They have foreign gods. They have things you have never seen that they do over there in that, watch it, before you cross Jordan. The same way with Lot. You walked over, it looked beautiful, everything was beautiful, and you walked into the land of Gentiles, and you walked into sodomy. Did you hear me? You walked into sodomy. Stop and think about it. I'm trying to tell you, make it look good. And look what you did. And then they want you. You got some dollars that's going to get killed because you sitting in a land that, watch this, that if you hadn't talked to God, He could have took care of this for you. But you didn't talk to God, Lot. You just looked. Because you looked, if anything, Abraham, since you talked to God, ask God if I can have this land. Will this land be of good for me, any good for me? That's what you should have did, but you didn't do it. Your eyes determined where you lost your wife. How that sound? Where you end up losing your wife. Behind your greed, because you went over there and it was beautiful land, and you don't understand where there's something beautiful, there's a lot of people running by you again. You ain't over there by yourself. I said, now what do you see? Your churches. It's beautiful. Where do you go? They go by the buckets over there because it's beautiful. And you got and don't realize you've just walked into a worldly church and don't even know it. It's a church that doesn't belong to God. And it calls itself Christians. It actually uses the name that you use. It uses that name and they believe they are Christians and you are Christian. So I don't understand why we can't get along, and yet the lifestyle that I live, hey, I'm okay. Why? Because I can go Sunday morning and hallelujah this thing right, hallelujah my sins away. Oh, y'all didn't hear me?
Didn't you just say deception?
That's it. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And you don't even realize it. So then watch this. I guess now we can get out of here. He says 8, he says what?
This is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea up to the valley of Eshcol and viewed the land. They discouraged the Israelites from entering the land the Lord had given them. They discouraged the Israelites from entering the land the Lord had given them. I wanted that to be one complete thought.
Yeah, so wait a minute. So we need to go back. I don't understand.
They stated,
I don't understand it. So what's going on? He said something.
he said that after they went up.
Read back again. Thus your fathers did when I sent them away to Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went into the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the hearts of the children of Israel so that they did not go into the land which the Lord had given them. Who? Now who?
Who discouraged?
That's a who. Did you forget about them 10 tribes? I mean, the 10 spies?
Went over.
Yes, remember? Yeah, they giants. Remember? He said, that's your Kadesh Barnea. That's who we're talking about. So you went over and the spies went over. 10 of them discouraged you. 2 of them came back and told you that you serve a living God. 2 of them, but the majority always wins. Oh, you need to hear me. That's why you say, I don't understand why we don't have elders and deacons here. Because it's not a majority that wins. The majority would say, whatever brother I brought up, we'll go along with it. There's a minority that says, one or two that says, no, I disagree. Someone would say, you've got to be kidding, Brother Thompson. So we're not going to have elders because one or two have said no. It's not a majority vote. When you choose elders and deacons, it's not a majority. It is no democracy in that voting. You got two that says they won't follow you. You talking about elder or deacon. You got two that will not follow you. In the Bible, they're called sheep. And you got two sheep that won't follow you. We need to find out why those two sheep won't follow you. And if it's not personal, hear me? Then let's talk about it. So we can find out what it is that they would need to do to better themselves to win you over. Because you need to follow your elders. Did you hear me? You need to follow them. I know you got churches out there that say, well, the majority rules, so he's an elder. Majority rules, so they're deacons. That's not biblical.
Or you got your your preacher who
Come on.
chooses, and
Come
that
on.
settles.
Come on. See, you just said a mouthful. That's what's going on. The preacher comes up and says, well, Calvin and Steve are now your elders.
But those are the people that's running the churches, and they've got the sheep that's
Yeah, well,
following after them.
You got it, Calvin.
You
got
They
it.
got an answer for that.
You
That's
got
what
it.
said in the Bible.
And I didn't hear too many times. I mean, Jason came over and told me, what's her name? Betty's sister. I forgot her. Sweet Betty. Sweet. Remember her name? They said over at Wattsville.
Sweet Alice.
Sweet Alice. Sweet Alice. Oh no, we laugh, but Sweet Alice was running.
the show.
Sweet Alice is making sure David was paid. This is what the church is going to give you. Sweet Alice said, don't worry about it.
Right.
Because that's what they gave you, baby. Every week I'm going to make sure you get what you asked for. Sweet Alice won a lawsuit many years ago, a big one. She has the money. What does David have to do?
Answer the Sweet Alice.
Ain't got nothing. I don't have to worry about nobody else. Y'all can fuss all y'all want.
Only Sweet Alice.
Once,
Okay.
as long as Sweet Alice is okay, and my check is still coming through, I'm cool.
Praise God.
And that's what, but you don't see that. Why? That's why I said, when I came in, I held a job. So you couldn't hold me. Did you hear me? So you couldn't hold me. Well, we don't agree with you. Okay, I'm out. That's what you feel. Let me go. Huh? Let me go. Wait a minute, because now are you going to listen to me? And if you don't, then it's time for me to roll. Why? Because I'm giving you God's word. But you feel you want to run the ship and run it. I'm out. Do you see how that? You don't need to be caught up like the church has grown since, and a lot of that mess has moved on. But that can easily happen. Get one or two people that's giving, and you feel, well, I got to be cool because, they running the ship, so I got to even watch my lesson. I've said this, guys, getting off the subject, but I've said this. How many times have you heard about marriage, divorce, and remarriage? How about watches? How many times have you heard subject matters on adultery, fornication? How many times have you heard them? You don't. Those are some serious issues that will stir up everything. Because you got them all sitting on the front row and then laid up with us. They're still laying up with somebody that they ain't got no business laying up with. Did you hear me? This is how ragged, how trifling people can be, and they in your church. And you've given them leadership roles when they shouldn't have them. something that this brother said to me too. When you do decision making, not everybody can make that decision. Well, you know what, I'm in that church, I've been in church 20 years. I don't care. You've not supported the church. You just been. So you don't have that right to make a decision. Your decision isn't faithful. That's what it comes down to. You're not looking for the better half of the church. You can't, because you're not a student of God's word. So you can't make that decision. So sometimes we have to make decisions and folks not be around.
That are unpopular.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And
That
I
are unpopular.
but you're not making that decision because you're making it. You're making it because you know that's the best.
It's a sound decision.
Yes, it sounds, and that's what your elders and deacons, which you folks would wrestle with, but that's what your elders and deacons are to do. Make those sound decisions. They may not be decisions that the church likes, but they made that decision because they have weighed this out. They thought about it and said, yes, we know long term what this is going to come out to be. Right now it doesn't look good, but long term this will balance itself out. So watch us get back into your text. So we've got the 10 spies is what he's talking about. And I told you the Lord had given it to them. But what did it do? It discouraged the heart of the children. Somebody came in and said something, and it discouraged them, where they couldn't cross over. Isn't that something? So then watch this. Then he goes on farther and he says in 10. I don't care. Anybody.
So the Lord's anger was aroused on that day, and he swore an oath, saying, surely none of the men who came up from Egypt from 20 years old and above shall see the land of which I swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me.
Do you see that?
20 and above.
And you see that?
I mean,
He just didn't go after that little group. He went after everybody 20 and above.
That's all the men. The men.
Caleb and Joshua.
And that's
Otherwise, your boy, your children.
you shot down everything. God took away everything. Why would he just get a few of them? God told them all. No. Now, none of you will cross over. See how deep that can get? Because you saw something and it scared you. That's what it was. The 10 spies got scared. Oh, they're giants in the land. You know, they just one hand and boom, and we're dead. Did you forget who's taking you into the land?
Yeah, you must have forgotten.
You hear me? You're talking about God. You're talking about someone that don't even watch this. You don't even have to fight the battle. He just deals with, this is what he's trying to get us to understand. The battle's already won.
All you gotta do is just follow.
That's it. But what do? You want to change the scenery. You want to stick your foot in God's plan. When you weren't around, when he made the plan. I mean, the story of Job helps you to understand that. You want to change the plan. That's why I keep saying, that's why we got one that ain't here today. You don't agree with the plan. You think there's a better plan. You think we should be singing and shouting. The praise teams and the worship teams come in. You think we should be speaking in tongues. You think we should be able to heal, and women should be able to preach and all these things. You think who told you to change the plan? And here's the bigger one. Who's to say that the plan that he gave us wasn't working? Some man said it's boring. You heard me say that Sunday. Some man said it's boring. This is what you need to do. It's working. The plan when we really stop and think about it, it's a scheme of redemption. Amen? So the plan was to get us to heaven. Who would better know how to get us to heaven than God?
That's right.
That's the plan. So why don't we follow his plan? When he wants to change the plan, then he'll change the plan. He watches. He went from the Old Testament to the New. Right? To the New. He said that you don't even no longer live under the old. He says you now live under the new covenant.
That's right.
Okay, so what is the new plan? You said in Matthew the 17th chapter, to hear ye him. Hebrews 1, you said it. And sundry times, you said it. So wait a minute. And the message is what? To hear him. We got to hear him. So why are we? Here you are, Reuben and Gad. Who gave you that plan? Who told you to stay on this side of the Jordan? Who told you? You got that's really the key behind this. Because like we said, it's called deception. And God don't deceive us. So it's Satan that is, once again, guys, I said, I've got scriptures. I said that maybe I'll get to them, maybe I want to call myself writing them down. I'll give you an early thought, because I'm going to have to get ready to bring to an end in just about 10 minutes anyway. But let me give you an early thought if you had pencil and paper. You need to look at Judges 10, 6 through 9. Judges 10. Just want you to see this. Judges 10, 6 through 9. Hold on, I'm giving you some more scriptures. Got a lot of them. Judges 10 again, 17 and 18. 1 Kings 22, 3.
1 Kings 22, 3.
2 Kings 10.
2 Kings, what?
2 Kings 10, 32 and 33.
Brother King. Sister
Okay. Also in your 2 Kings, look at 15. Chapter 15, 27 through 19.
27 through 19.
Uh-huh.
How do you do that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
2 Kings
15, 19 to 27.
Oh, okay, 19
Should
to
have said good message.
Yeah, there you go. But I said, when you get a chance, you look at these.
Okay, so let me just go.
Now,
You said Judges 10, 6 through 9,
Uh-huh.
and then 17 and 18.
Uh-huh.
1 Kings 22 and 3.
Uh-huh.
2 Kings 10, 32 and 33.
Uh-huh.
And then 2 Kings 15, 19
Yeah,
through 27. Okay.
And if you go back and look at, and I'll be back over these in a little bit in the next week. But I wanted you to see something because what you need to see is Moses has already made a statement to them. They're wrong.
Right.
You're selfish. You're wrong for doing this. He's going to go on a little bit farther, and we'll get into some more of this. But he's going to go on a little bit farther. You know that group, Reuben and Gad. They've been running hell behind choosing that land.
God's anger.
You know you got out of protection.
Same thing Mark did, right?
Yes, you watch this. You told God no thank you. And so you didn't cross over. Crossing over was your protection. God is with you. God watches when you do what God wills you to do, God can continue to protect you. Keep his arms around you.
He's blind.
I'm trying to tell you that just told him and he would have tied him up. But that's what he did with Lot. You saw the land. You don't understand and seeing the land. It's no good. But you don't see it. They are going into it. That is a Gentile country. And guess where you stayed? Right there. It's coming your way. It's coming your way. The sin that Lot saw, can you imagine how disgusting that must have been for him? And there was nothing he could do about it. You stuck over in that land. Yes.
It's amazing how God used them, the Gentiles, and allowed them to be in that such beautiful.
Isn't that something? Gave it to them. You know what it says though? That God shows no partiality. Watch this, that God said that he would shed no man would perish. God had it was all along the scheme of redemption. That that's Gentiles as well as Jews, are his people. He was taking care of his people.
And he's the creator.
Yes, and the Gentiles went against him. Come up with all kinds of gods. You come out of what? Adam, Eve, you come out of Cain. Stop and think about it. Cain. And so what do you do? What do you do? Every time you run into something, you run into the land Cain. But if you keep your eyes focused, and I ain't talking about these, right, keep it where it should be centered, then because you gonna get distracted.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody will go, so you don't get distracted. No. You gonna get distracted. Because that's the challenges that we have to go through.
Of course.
So since you're going to get distracted, don't you think if you had Jesus with you all the time, at least he could take you through that storm? Or you won't be by yourself? That's why you hear me say, it's order, it's order, it's order. I know y'all tired of hearing that. It's order. God is a God of order. He does things on time. I made a statement Sunday. The elect hear his voice. The elect. I've said it and I still say it. You need to check yourself and see if you quit telling yourself you're the elect. Check and see if you are the elect. And the only way you can check to see if you're in the elect, are you lining yourself up with God's will. He's a God of order. If you ain't lining yourself up, you may not be the elect. That's the danger of this. I told you, Jesus made the statement, not a one shall be snatched out of his hands. Not a one. That is the elect. You can't snatch that which is elect out of God's hand. You can't take it. So, and I got that great debate that, believe me, one of my brothers that believes that Satan went to heaven. And I said, that's a joke. I'm talking about Judas. Yeah, Judas went to heaven. I'm like, really?
How when Jesus said, if you're better, had that man not been born?
I said, believe me, I've done the major, all of that, and still, did he not do, watch this, did he not come down here, did somebody have to betray him? Jesus, but Jesus even said, it'd been better if you had not been born.
Yeah.
Huh? Then I had to hit him with something even more. God says not a one shall be snatched from his hands. Judas walked away from God.
Yeah.
People miss that. Huh? Jesus did everything he could to save Judas. Brought it to his attention, sat down, communed with him. Even on the last day, brought it to his attention, you're going to do it. The man that sticks his hand, watch this. He said, that's who's going to betray him. It's scratching his head. It's scratching, who's he talking about? He told him, do what you have to do.
But just think about all the miracles that weren't even written in the Bible that Judas was witness to.
What saw?
And he still didn't believe.
That's
amazing.
That's deep. I said, and here we are, then we're under God's grace. And still, we find every excuse. I'm trying to tell you, the elect won't. The elect says, no. God will be number one. You heard me say that Sunday. Where are the sacrifices in your life? Satan throws these darts, and you accept them. You take that reason why you don't do what God had told you to do. You take that and say, you're right, that's a justifiable answer. When God is saying, what if I had thought what I was doing with my son was a justifiable answer? Stop and think about it. We all be on our way to hell. My time has expired.